Hello, 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 hello.
What up? What up?
All right, sounds good. Sounds good. All right, welcome back to LiveWire Film Reviews. This is Ray Gonzalez, and with me is Peter Mann.
What's up?
Now, I'm the kind of guy that hates to repeat himself when telling a story. So this is kind of annoying because we had a podcast ready to go a couple days ago, and for some reason this program decided to fuck up on us, so we had to start from scratch.
Yeah, so we're gonna re-up on two movies that we've previously reviewed, and that is Magic Mike XXL. We're gonna start off, and then we're gonna end it with Terminator Genesys.
So let's just cut to the chase here. Let's go into the story. Channing Tatum plays Magic Mike, and this one, he's left the game, but the crew brings him back, and they do a sort of road trip to Myrtle Beach to their destination of a stripper convention, so they can have one last hurrah as co-strippers, co-friends, co-brothers. They find themselves, and that's pretty much it for the plot of the film. But I find myself to really enjoying the movie. I found it to be another charming entry. I was a big fan of the first one.
I wasn't. Not like I hated it, but I just wasn't a fan of it. I had some problems with it, mainly the female character, and the name escapes me, but
Cody Horn, I think.
Okay. She was terrible.
Yeah, she was.
And there
she
was no chemistry between her and Channing Tatum. And with a movie called Magic Mike, you know, you'd think that they would focus on those two
sparks flying.
Sparks flying. There was no sparks flying, you know.
Well, so. when you watch like a Soderbergh film, because like Soderbergh directed the first one, you never really get like a kind of like magic-y or sparks flying chemistry type. I can't think of stuff like that in the Soderbergh film.
You don't get like the cookie cutter like rom-com, you know.
Yeah,
like,
you definitely don't get that from him. You get different kind of styles. He definitely has his own look, his own style, his own panache and way of going about films. You know, that I guess doesn't really work with romantic comedies these days, you know, because that was kind of like, you could say his foray into the romantic comedy world, you know. And what's funny is that like you said, the best thing in the first one is the camaraderie and the character development of the guys, rather than the relationship he has with the girl.
Is this how the whole trip is gonna be? You're gonna be on this thing the whole time?
Are you kidding? Relax, I got a bunch of orders, just came in, all the guys at the shop are just freaking out.
If you're gonna be here, man. Be present.
Okay, I'll be present.
All right, that's it.
What are you doing?
iPhone went by phone.
Are you serious right now?
What am I supposed to do? I should chuck your big ass right off of this truck.
That's the Mikey I remember. Look, if you ain't ready to bring it old school this weekend, then you need to hop off this food truck right now.
Why do you think I came this weekend?
I don't know, man. It's been a long time. But I do know this. You better be ready to follow my ass down the rabbit hole, brother. I'm talking out of body, baby. Woo! Astral projection. Tobias, we're going to Mad Mary's.
Hell yeah.
Nobody messes with the mojo on the last ride, brother.
You know, and Channing Tatum,
the show stealer is definitely Matthew McConaughey.
Definitely.
If I were to say I was a fan of a certain aspect of the first film, it would definitely be Matthew McConaughey on his wave of good films at the time that he was doing, and still continues to do to this day. I think it started with Lincoln Lawyer for me personally. I don't know about you,
No, he was good. I was just not a fan of the movie itself, but I thought his performance was.
But I thought
solid.
Ever since that film, he's just been on this like just magnificent wave of character acting and a lot of character depth within his characters that he portrays in these films. A lot more is like emotional range that I didn't even know he had.
Yeah, you never would have thought of that when you're watching Ghosts of Girlfriends Past.
Right.
You never would have thought of that when you're watching Failure to Launch.
Right.
know?
Or How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Yeah, or Fool's Gold.
Yeah,
you never...
Sahara. Like just the
the
plethora. We can just go on and on and on about
his filmography.
About the duds in his career. But no, I seriously, the first film, what it had going for it was. I thought Channing Tatum was really well. He really stepped it up. I think from previous films, and I thought that it was another film, another serious role, kind of similar.
Like you said,
a guy just recognizing your saints.
Yeah, which that was the one that really put him on the map for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And then he started doing the typical mainstream movies,
the step-ups and whatnot.
Step-ups and G.I. Joes and whatnot to kind of make himself a brand. And then he comes back to Magic Mike, and again, like I said, Magic Mike is kind of like the step in the right direction, like how it was for Matthew McConaughey with Lincoln Lawyer. Mm-hmm. Ever since Magic Mike, or ever since he met Soderbergh, he started taking his roles a lot more seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, he did Stop Loss before.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was another good one.
He also had...
I like that one.
He also had Haywire, which was a good
action. Nice little action indie.
And then he also had Side Effects with Soderbergh, but then he started doing even, smart comedies like 21 Jump Street, 22 Jump Street. Mm-hmm. Now he's got Foxcatcher. He's definitely stepping into the right roles and using his talents in the right ways. Mm-hmm. And this one is definitely another winner for him performance wise, because he captured it so well. He has a lot of charm and a lot of confidence in his character. Mm-hmm. Now the flaw with Magic Mike XXL is two things. One is really there's no plot other than the basic of let's get from here to there, and the second one is no Matthew McConaughey, and you feel that.
Yeah,
you feel that throughout the movie, that you go, man.
Another key central character for the film, besides Channing.
Right, and this one, they try to make up for it, and I think it works for most of the time. They try to make up for it by letting us into the world of the other guys that they were there, but you never really got to know them.
You're saying how the supporting cast really steps it up in this one?
Yeah, Joe Manganiello is a lot of fun. He plays Big Dick Richie. I can't even make up that shit.
Is that the guy from True Blood?
Yeah. Yeah, nigga, he loves that. And there's Kevin Nash as Tarzan, Adam Rodriguez, I forgot his name, Matt Bomer, and they all have their own little styles and personalities, and it really syncs well. And the movie really shines when they get into random situations where they kind of have to strip their way out of it.
I heard there's a lot more stripping in this film than there was in the second one. There's a lot more erotic dancing in this one.
It's almost like it's pleasing the fans that were expecting that from the first one. I almost
feel like the females that got cheated out on the sexy dancing in the first film, the XXL makes up for in this one.
It's I'm sorry about that last one, but we got you on this one. We gonna make sure you
key up that genuine pony and let's go.
Let's do it. Let's go. And every time Channing Tatum has a dance, has a dancing moment, a stripper moment, the movie really shines. It really glows, and because obviously he's the best dancer out of all of them, mm-hmm. But they also had their nice moments. Matt Bomer does things because there's two new characters, and one of them is Donald Glover, who plays the singing poet stripper.
Oh, and Gambino.
He connects with Matt Bomer to bring that side out of him. Mm. Or this choreographer dancer Twitch, who's extremely talented. He doesn't really do much for the role, but he gets to have these moments with Channing Tatum where they really push themselves in their dancing talents.
How was Gabriel Iglesias?
Oh man, that dude gets out of the picture 30 minutes in the movie. He crashes the car and he gets hurt, and got a boo boo, and We need to get rid of him. Now, another thing that they try to make up for with Matthew McConaughey is Jada Pinkett. Jada Pinkett Smith shows up, and she's kind of like the MC DJ that used to work with Magic Mike. She used to call him White Chocolate, you know? And she connects again with Magic Mike, and she goes on the road with him to help him out for the stripper convention.
I got a little treat for y'all tonight. It's a man I knew as White Chocolate. Some might know him as Magic Mike. We're gonna see if he's still got some magic in that mic. You down for a little fun tonight? All right. Have a seat. Mike.
Come on, let's not do this.
In this stripper convention, there's nothing really at risk other than the fact that they want to go out. Like, they understand that they're reaching the limits of their age, especially a character like Kevin Nash's Tarzan. And they just want to have this moment to connect, this moment to just, like, we really have this close relationship, and we just want to have this memory of all of us doing it and doing it well one more time.
Almost like LL just now. You low key just
you like that, huh?
You low key just direct quoted LL just now.
Yeah. And then
doing it well.
That's what they did, and it leads up to a great epic like ending where they all just go out with a bang. And I really found myself enjoying the movie quite a bit. I don't think it's as good as the first one, but it comes really close. It's because there's these moments where, like, the movie just goes to a screeching halt, and it's moments like where Amber Heard, who she plays the new romantic lead, and she is a better actress than Cody Horn.
Thank God.
But there's still not a lot of chemistry. It's almost like the Soderbergh team, because Gregory Jacobs is the director, and he used to be the cinematographer of the first one.
So they just switched roles in this one.
They switched roles. And Soderbergh, under pseudonyms, is the editor. He's the cinematographer. You know, like, he's everything.
So he basically directed it.
Pretty much.
You still have the Soderbergh touch in this one, huh?
So, yeah.
Okay.
You wouldn't even tell the difference, other than the movie may be a little hipper, you know? But like I said, it's almost like the Soderbergh team does not know how to tackle intimacy or, you know, chemistry between, like, their leads. Now, who had actually great chemistry is Joe Manganiello and Andy McDowell. You know, like, because they stop at her house, and next thing you know, Andy McDowell and her girlfriends are all drunk and everything, and Joe Manganiello had to put the moves on her, had to put his thing down, you know.
Come on.
Wow, this night. Oh, love it. I wish we had known you guys back in our day. You know?
Well, I'd say it's still your day, man.
Stand up.
Oh, no.
Come on, stand up. No.
Hey!
Oh my God, just look at you. You are just perfect. Damn. Oh God. Oh, damn, look at you. I hate to be rude, but...
You want to pop the hood?
Oh.
She loves it, but it's one of the great moments in the film, and it's those little moments of fun that you have in the film that really shine in the movie. So for that reason, like,
I imagine you liked this one.
I did. I really did like it, and I think a lot of people are going to like it if they give it a chance. Don't take it too seriously. Don't be so scared and saying, oh, it's about dudes dancing and whatnot, because you know what, like, it's more than that. It's about just having fun, letting loose, you know, like, get to know these characters, because they're a lot of fun to hang around.
I might check it out. I mean, I didn't get to check this one out, but I might check it out. I mean, I've seen the first film. Might as well just double XL it, you know?
You're really damn right. All right. You know, like, this movie doesn't really feel like a sequel, more like an extended sequence in the first one, you know? But like I said, I liked it a lot. Not as good as the first one, but I'm gonna give it a 3.5. I'm gonna give it a 3.5.
All right. Well, you know what? Just backtracking on the Magic Mike. The one thing I would give the first one was that it's kind of unique in that Soderbergh doesn't really. I mean, he has his indie touch. You know,
he does.
Put aside the Oceans franchise, you really don't find anything Hollywood about Soderbergh or I'm trying to think of the word. But
you know, like even with movies like Ocean's 11, you know what I'm talking about. You get the style, you get the feel like this is a Soderbergh film, just with a lot more money.
Well, with Magic Mike, the first film, you got a taste of indie, and you also got a taste of mainstream. That's the word I was looking for.
That's one of those things that I really always liked about Soderbergh, because he always kind of did like the big mainstream movies, and then he would go back to indie mode.
Yeah,
like that big, and he would always be very experimental. He did that Full Frontal. He did the Girlfriend Experience.
Yeah.
He did a movie called Bubble. And I didn't catch them all, but I always liked that and admired that. Like he's one of those people that wants to tackle everything possible, and seeing what he can do and what he can't do.
I like that people that are not familiar with Soderbergh, when they go into a movie like Magic Mike or Magic Mike XXL. Don't realize that this is coming from an art house director, so he knows his stuff when it comes to like cinema.
Most definitely, yeah.
So.
But yeah.
All right. So what was the review? I mean, what was your critique again?
3.5.
All right.
3.5, and I feel really good about it.
Okay.
I feel really good
Sounds
about
good.
it. But let's move on to the next one. Let's go back to the future and back in time.
Terminator Genesys.
What can I say about this movie that hasn't already
It's
been
Terminator without James Cameron.
Yeah? Again.
Oh, yeah, because we had Salvation. We had Terminator 3.
But this is different than those other Terminators without James Cameron. This is the going back to the James Cameron Terminators without James Cameron.
Okay.
So it
has that James Cameron feel.
But without really being James Cameron.
Without the authenticity.
Yeah. So it pretty much, let's go with the basic plot again. Like, it's pretty much the plot of the first one. Kyle Reese goes back in time to save Sarah Connor, but when he goes back in time, things have changed. Sarah Connor is not the victim anymore. She's actually already has a Terminator with her. Arnold Schwarzenegger comes back as the T-800, and this time Pops,
as she refers him to.
Yeah, because he raised her to be this new warrior, and then there's different things that change from the timeline of the original Terminator, and they have to find a way to stop Skynet once again.
Listen to me, Reese. Everything's changed. The 1984 John sent you to, it no longer exists.
No, this is all wrong, all right? John sent me here to save you.
From the Terminator that was sent back to kill me, I know, but we already took care of him.
We? Get down!
God! Reese, stop it! Reese, God damn it!
Stay here!
Reese, wait! Those bullets will kill him!
If you're to kill you, stay in the truck.
Oh, great. That's just great.
I did not kill him.
Before Judgment Day happens again. It's almost like there's really nothing else to do other than like, let's stop Skynet. And it always seems like they're going to stop Skynet, but it's like
they still make movies.
Yeah, like
we haven't completely overturned Skynet. There's an entity of Skynet that still exists in some form or another.
It's gotta be somewhere in the form of a raccoon.
I don't know,
a hole or something. I never thought that the original two ever needed another sequel. You know what I mean?
Well, you mean the original Terminator?
Yeah, the first one and the second one. And what I liked about is that they're very different in style. One is it's a thriller, while the other one's just nonstop action.
Yeah.
And the third one, I didn't mind the third one so much.
I just remember it being a female, cyborg or Terminator, and that's the only thing I remember.
But that's the problem about Terminator 3 is that it's so unmemorable that people just, since it's so unmemorable, people don't like it because it's so unmemorable, rather than the other two that, you know, it sticks with you. They stick with you.
Because you have a revolutionary, just this visionary director like Cameron at the helm. So
exactly, and then you hire people like Jonathan Mostow did the third one, and he was okay, but he just is not as ambitious. Mag G came in with Terminator Salvation, and he tried to give it
Charlie's Angels on Terminator,
which is a damn shame. Nobody should ever give him such responsibility ever again. He tried to do something different, and instead of going back in time, he just decided to stay on the timeline of the war. But it was just boring.
Yeah, it
dull,
was.
Dull and boring and long. And you had Sam Worthington before he was Sam Worthington, but he didn't even prove himself at this point. And the only thing memorable about Christian Bale was the frantic moment he had.
His
yelling.
outbursts.
Yeah, his outbursts. That's
behind the scenes. I think that's the only thing that people take away from that film, even if they didn't even see the film.
I know, but it's always a good time. Like when you're having a bad day, you just listen.
You
want to
go back to that clip and and play.
You really do.
When the cinematographer was in the shot.
So with this one, they try to do kind of a Back to the Future Part 2.
Hey, what's wrong with this picture?
Nice night for a walk, eh?
Nice night for a walk.
Wash day tomorrow. Nothing clean, right?
Nothing clean, right.
Hey, I think this guy's a couple cans short of a six-pack.
Your clothes, give them to me, now.
You won't be needing any clothes. I've been waiting for you.
Yeah, it's like back and forth from 1984 to present time. We only go 2 years later.
Yeah, 2017. Because they find out that in 2017 the world, that's when Judgment Day really happens. It wasn't 1997, it was 2017. And it's going to be through the power of an app called Genesys.
Yeah.
And blah, blah, blah. Everybody knows what's going on.
It's basically, I think it's just social commentary of what technology means to us today. I mean, when you in a room full of people, you see everybody on their smartphone, people are on their their tablets and whatnot. Yeah. So it's like we're consumed with so much technology that it kind of takes over our world. And I think that's what this film, there was a main focal point to this film was just technology is taking over the world. And is it a good thing or is it a bad thing,
I think, that's what they were trying to do, while they were also trying to give you a greatest hits mix of the first original Terminators. Let's bring back the opening sequence of the original Terminator.
Oh yeah, they
but
did
let's
that.
Change it up. Let's bring back the T-1000 from Terminator 2. Just it's a greatest hits while also giving you that theme and that message of how technology's taken over us and we become victims of our own stupidity and necessity for technology.
Right.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
I actually think
that you can put that message in an action-packed summer film.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it. I actually thought it was a clever idea. Somebody was bound to do it. I think they've done it before. I can't.
I think we've seen it.
But now here comes to me the problem, and it all stems, I think, first with Alan Taylor, who's a director. Now, Alan Taylor has only done, as far as films, he's only done Thor 2 before this one.
You say he comes from TV, right?
He comes from Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah.
Which is why Emilia Clarke was casted as Sarah Connor. That's my assumption. And, everything seems cool. And I really, really did enjoy the first half of the movie when, it's in the original Terminator timeline and they're doing the Back to the Future Part 2 thing where things slightly change.
That son of a bitch just stole my pants!
What day is it? What year?
May 12th, 1984. The day you arrived.
I really enjoyed that. But when it comes to action, he's just very unmemorable. Like, there's nothing mesmerizing like how it was in the first two. It's actually like the action is trying to like match kind of like the Marvel action. You know, like with the helicopter chase scenes and the school bus flipping over. And it all seems kind of cool, but nothing special.
Yeah, it's like we've seen this. Like, is this stock footage from like the last Planet of the Apes movie or something?
Yeah, seriously. And it's just that's what's really disappointing about this movie, to be honest, because nothing is really memorable save for like one thing, and that one thing is Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, I agree with you. Arnold I think he like takes this film and like just puts it over his shoulder because he really carries this film. For me, I don't know about you.
No, for
I think a
me,
major problem for me was also the young cast. Like, I wasn't really, not like it wasn't really feeling Emilia Clarke's portrayal of Sarah Connor.
Okay.
To me, I thought she was a little bit more spunkier than, let's say, Linda Hamilton played it in T2, you know? But again, this is a young Sarah Connor and not yet, you know, John Connor's mom, you know what I mean?
Like we talked about, to me, like the way I thought of it as, it's like she's a mix between Sarah Connor in Terminator 2 and John Connor, the little boy John Connor in Terminator 2. Like, the kid was spunky, so they gave her that spunk in this one. You know, like, but she was also like war ready. So like, and it's a very tricky balance, and I think that she captured it well. Like, so I really did like Emilia Clarke as Sarah Connor.
Well then, to flip the coin, I don't know if you were. I think you can agree with me. I wasn't really sold on. Is it Jai Courtney as Kyle Reese?
I hated that.
You know, like to me, it just the young cast didn't really stand up to Arnold Schwarzenegger, because Arnold Schwarzenegger, if you look at just the source material, I mean, this is really what made Arnold Schwarzenegger
the big thing,
the big action, you know, hero film actor that he is now, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, he just basically was like, man, I'm gonna have fun with it. I'm gonna bring Terminator back to where it's supposed to be. But I just don't think that the rest of the cast really could keep up.
No, I don't think, well, like I said, I really liked Emilia Clarke, and I thought that her portrayal was spot on. But if you really think about it, the movie isn't, as much as we like to think that it's an Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's not the lead. Jai Courtney's Kyle Reese is the lead of the film. He's the main character. And that's where the movie's biggest problem.
Maybe that is the problem, though.
Yeah, because Jai Courtney, look, I liked him a lot in films like Unbroken and Russell Crowe's The Water Diviner. You know, like these small little parts, he actually proves how much of a good actor he can be. When you put him in these big summer box office movies, he's bland. It's not that he's bad, it's just that he's bland. He's miscast. You needed somebody more rugged, more dirty, you know. You needed somebody like who didn't just come out of the gym, you know, like you needed somebody just more over the top, like Michael Biehn was, you know. Michael Biehn in the original Terminator was just
like he saw some shit,
some PTSD, and that's exactly what this role needed, and he just came off and just did his bland thing like he didn't Die Hard, you know. And it's disappointing. That's the biggest fault of the film, because it's all really in his shoulders, and it's not really his fault. Well, no, I take that back. It's his fault, because he should have done his work and his, you know.
You were saying that you heard that in an interview he didn't even see the original Terminator?
I heard, like, I saw in an interview that
maybe he should have.
Yeah, because he said he didn't want to capture, he didn't want to just like redo Michael Bihn's performance. Okay, man, I understand that, but you got to know your history. You got to study your work. You know, like I'm pretty sure Hugh Jackman read a couple of Wolverine comic books before signing on to X-Men. You know, because he's not about to be like, well, I don't read these because I don't want to mimic what this person was. You know, that doesn't make sense. You know, and I think that's the biggest problem. Like, and another big problem is the marketing team totally butchered this film.
Oh yeah,
the marketing team gave away the biggest plot twist. You know?
I think if people that hadn't seen the theatrical trailer went in this film, I think you may have had like a good time. Like you might have thought that this film was a good, you know, summer action film. But if you saw the trailer, it gives away the biggest, like, spoiler alert.
I think that
for the film, you know, it gives away the surprise twist in the final act.
And I think that if the spoiler wasn't revealed, I think a lot of people would have considered this to be like one of the biggest surprises of the summer or something like that. You know, because they're giving you something you just weren't expecting. Instead, they just give you everything on a silver platter.
It's like we're like dumb enough not to figure it out ourselves.
Yeah, and that's what I hate about these movies. You know, like. They give it kind of away in with the Jurassic World trailers about the dinosaur being too smart and then he causes rampage and they show it. Okay, with Terminator they give off their biggest twist. You know, like now the other day I saw there was an Ant-Man trailer. You know, Ant-Man's coming out next week.
Yeah.
And we're a week away from Ant-Man. And now on the TV spots I see that they go and they show one of the Avengers on the trailer. That's supposed to be a surprise.
Seriously?
Yeah,
I haven't seen the TV
you want me
spots.
to tell you what it is?
I haven't even seen the TV spots.
Yeah, well, maybe I'm gonna keep that secret for you.
Fine.
You know, you need
really
this. I was really like, I was so mad.
They're gonna ruin Ant-Man for me now.
But you know, it's just, what is this marketing team? And it's like they don't.
Oh, you know what? I think I saw something on your Instagram.
Did you? No.
That's not it.
No, that's not it. That
was cool though.
Yeah, no, but that's for Captain America 3. But that's not like a twist. That's not a secret.
Okay, so now I still don't want to know what they reveal.
No, you don't.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know how much they played into the movie because that scene is like a second in the trailer, you know, in the TV spot. But it's these marketing teams. They don't have faith in their movies, so they try to give you as much as they can.
It's like, please go watch this movie. This is in it, you know.
Yeah, but what the fuck? And why would I want to watch it if you're telling me everything that's in it? You know, like I already know then. You know, there's no surprise. And this movie was the biggest victim of this, like of that kind of situation this year. The marketing team should have just butchered. You know, like the marketing team should be fired for what they did.
Basically, they outed that Jason Clarke's John Connor is the villain in this film.
Yeah.
What did you think about Jason Clarke?
He was cool. Like I said, my girlfriend, the missus, she was explaining to me how she felt like he was miscast because Jason Clarke just looks like he's a villain.
I think it's those eyes, man. He just looks crazy.
So, you know, when she told me that, I kind of like, you know what? I kind of do agree. And I do feel like 2 out of the 3 new young cast members are miscast, you know? Maybe Jack Courtney would have been a better John Connor because he's cleaner and everything. You know, like maybe he would have been more interesting. I'm not saying Jason Clarke was bad in the performance. You know, I think he hammed it up when he needed to. You know, like he was serious when he needed to.
I look at each of you, and I see the marks of this long and terrible war. Fight! No! For our children! Our children's children, so they will not carry these marks. But they will know who we are and what we did. That we did not bow down. We did not give in. We rose up at this moment, at this hour, willing to sacrifice everything so that they can live in freedom. On this night, we take back our world.
I didn't ask you this before. What did you think about J.K. Simmons as the detective?
You know what?
Did that bother you at all? Because now that I think in hindsight, I didn't think it did, but thinking about it, I think it did, because you come off of doing Whiplash and you do this shit.
Well, I mean, you know, he's the State Farm guy, you know.
Okay.
Like he works. He's the yellow M&M, you know. Did you know that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
He's the peanut M&M.
Oh damn.
He works, man. That dude is a grinder. Like.
Okay.
But the thing that did kind of bother me, and this is another thing about modern, you know, blockbusters these days, is they make these films and they say, well, we're gonna make a trilogy. We already know, so let's leave some things open-ended, you know, like. And I think, you know, because J.K. Simmons' character, you easily could cut him out, and nobody would know the difference.
Right.
Nobody would be the wiser. And
I wouldn't have missed him. I didn't like him in this, to be honest.
He was fine. Like, you know, he does the best that he can do.
He was like bubbling, mumbling, and all this other stuff. He looked nervous the entire time.
But it's such a small role.
Okay.
It's almost like you can consider it a cameo.
Okay.
You know, which I found it, because I thought, whoa, J.K. Simmons is here. Something's gonna happen.
We're getting some quality.
You know,
especially coming off Whiplash.
But it amounts to nothing. You know, it really just amounts to nothing.
Nope.
And I think it's a waste. And I hate when movies try to leave things open-ended or leave these characters so small and they say, oh, don't worry, because he'll be back on the next one.
If it makes money.
Yeah, which is not doing so hot.
It's not really. So, you said like domestically, but internationally it's killing it, right?
So far, so good. You know, I wouldn't say it's
killing it.
It's not Avengers numbers.
Okay.
But I really hope that this movie does well.
Because you see the potential in it, huh?
I do. Look, with everything I said put aside, I really did enjoy this movie. And I really thought that the take on Back to the Future Part 2 with the first half, you know, like going back to the original and switching some things up. I really enjoyed that. I really liked that. And the second half is not so strong, and it kind of leads, you know,
kind of generic action,
pretty much, exactly,
blockbuster summer film.
And that's all right. You know, I wasn't expecting a monumental film out of this. I just didn't want to be like a complete and utter shit. So I put that whole like knowing the twist to the side, and I said, you know what, this actually could have worked. You know, if people just didn't know about it, if it wasn't such a reveal.
Right.
And Arnold Schwarzenegger is so good. You know, it just amazes me that at 67 years old, he still has it. He can still, like, he can still gravitate towards you and capture the right emotions. He's the robot, but he's actually the one you feel for the most in the film. You know, and his relationship with Sarah Connor. And I think that there's more pros like that can be seen than cons here. And I really want to see, like you mentioned to me, maybe if they hire a different director for the next one, you know, somebody with a better hand at directing at action films, you know, and a better handle of the script, maybe better screenwriters. You know, there's potential here for something else, you know, for something more.
Right.
And you know, Arnold can still do it, and we need to take advantage of that, because he's 67 years old. You know, like. And nobody else is going to be able to do it like Arnold did. We've already gotten a movie without Arnold. It was Terminator Salvation, and we all know how we feel about that. So, and this movie, I find it to be very unfair in a lot of reasons how people react to it, because I think that this movie is just as flawed as, say, Jurassic World. Jurassic World is an extremely flawed film, you know, but a lot of people just like it, and they just say, oh, but it's so much fun, you know. But this movie's a lot of fun, too, if you just stop hating it and comparing it to the first ones. Y'all ain't comparing Jurassic World.
I think people are quick to write this one off because they saw Jurassic World, and you know, we did a good job at, you know, not seeing the flaws in this one, that we see the flaws in this one. You know what I mean?
And how fair is that? You know? So with that being said,
go with the rating.
Go with the rating. I'm gonna go with a 3, maybe 3.5. Let me think, 3.5.
Do it, because it seems like you see a lot more potential in this film, and I think that, you know what, to be honest, rethinking this, if I didn't see the trailer and knew the twist at the end, then maybe I would have rated a little higher, maybe I would have gave it, more praise than that I'm giving it up for, So you gonna go with 3.5? Or are you going with the solid 3?
No, I'm gonna go with the 3.5, and it's mostly because of Arnold. To be honest.
Yeah, man.
It's mostly because of Arnold, and I hope that
I like the fact that he did a good job at not knowing how to smile.
Yeah, no, I mean,
like you said, the lack for being a machine, the lack of emotional depth for him, like you wouldn't think it was, because he did a pretty good job at connecting with the Sarah Connor character. He's being the father figure.
He's a character that has the most depth out of all the cast. We're supposed to believe that Sarah Connor and Kyle Reese are gonna get together, but there's no chemistry at all between them. Yeah. Compared to like how Arnold is. So well, like I said, flaws aside, it's a summer popcorn film. You're gonna have a good time. The action may not be as memorable as the originals, but it's still well made. And just come in with an open mind. I think a lot of people will have fun with it. 3.5. Hopefully the sequel comes in and gives it, makes me want to give it a 4, a real 3.5 or a 4.
So in my rating, I don't know if I should give it the original, pre-recorded from the other day.
Go ahead, go with your gut.
You know what? I'm gonna give it 2 stars, and the only reason why I'm gonna give it 2 stars.
Don't go with your gut.
The only reason I'm giving it 2 stars is because I think the 2 stars really solely goes to Arnold Schwarzenegger. Because the aspects that you like of this film, it's because it's Arnold. He's the source material.
And it's not just nostalgia.
Without James Cameron, all you have is Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, but it's not just nostalgia. It's really that he's that good.
Yeah.
So that's what's amazing. It's not just, oh wow, he, I remember him as Terminator, so I have to like him. No, he's really that good in the role.
Yeah. So I give it up for my 2-star rating. It's only because Arnold Schwarzenegger, like being 67 and still wanting to step into the role that made him famous, I think he's having a fun time with it.
Yeah.
And you keep watching the film, even though the second half, like you said, is like pales in comparison to the first half.
Right.
So that's why I give it 2 stars. And I don't know, maybe I give it 2 stars only because I think the filmmaker, what's his name?
Alan Taylor
just maybe was just too much of a fanboy to realize that he was like taking things of James Cameron and making it his, and I'm just like, it doesn't work for me.
You didn't like that?
I didn't like that. I didn't like that. When you bring back the character, well, not bring back, but the character of the T-1000, Lee Byung-hun or something.
Byung-hun Lee.
Yeah. When you bring that character, it's like you were looking for Robert Patrick in those cop glasses, because he was the main antagonist in the first film, and you just have the smaller character, Asian character. Like, why did it have to be an Asian character? It's like, it's kind of cool that it was an Asian character because we don't see enough Asian, characters in Hollywood action films.
We're about to, because China is the biggest box office revenue now.
But I'm just saying, was it a race thing?
Probably. No, I'm not gonna doubt it. I actually liked his performance, but I do agree with you.
I think it was just a novelty for me. I was just like, it's kind of cool that he was Asian in the role, the shape shifting, cyborg or machine. But I don't know, it just didn't. A lot of things didn't work for me, and the thing that keeps me for this film is Arnold Schwarzenegger, and that's why I give it 2 stars. To be honest, it's a popcorn film, but to me it was kind of disappointing 2015 popcorn film for me. So
I can agree with that. I can respect that.
All right.
Well, here's hoping that the next one brings it back.
I hope so. I hope they make more films. I hope this film does good in the box office.
Well, yeah, because if this doesn't become a hit and they don't make any more in like 2 to 3 years, it goes back to James Cameron and he's just gonna lock the rights up in a vault and never to be used again.
I guess so. That man makes a movie every decade, I think.
Yeah. So let's see what happens.
Fingers crossed.